Are we missing somebody? It always happens. How can we do this? How can we do this?
You know what they say, Robbo? Ladies first, you know, and you get rid of Crystal.
There she is.
There you go. And Crystal drops right in the middle. See, Crystal, I placed you where you're supposed to be. Listen, people, good evening. It's the Fixture List show. Back again another Friday night where we chop up the weekend's big fixtures our way, how we like to do it. And we got some special guests on the show. Of course, Daddy Ernie in the house, Crystal Davis, Talawa TV, fresh from her escapades with, you know, Jamaica, where you can see you can see her curtains. Not Ern the original, but we got Ern the original Ern in the house, and all the way from Miami, the great CJ Carlos. Now, when I say the great CJ Carlos,
wow,
the tribute I've got to pay for this guy is going to have to go throughout the show. So CJ, bear with us. So we have Chelsea in the house, CJ Carlos, and he is original Chelsea fan. Tottenham in the house, Arsenal, and of course Manchester United. Where's that laugh? The giggle. Can't find the giggle.
Hey, put some respect. The great Manchester United. Put some respect on the name, bro.
God, I don't know about that.
Used to be.
Used to be. Still is.
How's it still great? Where are you in the table?
Anywhere we go.
Where are you in the table?
It don't matter. Anywhere we go, we could be bottom. We still are.
All right. Okay. So, yeah. So, as you can see, Daddy Ernie's still with that deluded hat on. People, if you're watching the show, as we always ask you, easy. The like button. Just press the like button. If you're watching right now, press that like button. And obviously, if you can subscribe, that really helps us. And of course, we're taking your comments. So drop your comments wherever you're listening from, whether in Miami, Tottenham, Harrow, Rona one part. Just drop the comments. Guys, how's the week been?
Anybody remembers CJ, they can drop their comments there as well, but keep them clean.
There's a lot of people that would remember CJ.
Over the years, I was doing a lot of impression of the. I had a moustache. I was like, I don't know, 20 stone before. Then I dropped them. Then I dropped the weight, and then it went. You know, it was all kinds of nonsense back in those days. It were good times. I had some great times when it first started out for me in Hackney at the Oasis. You know, and that was good times. 5 years I was there.
Come on, let's get to the. This is the man that helped invent the longest running dancehall reggae club night in the UK, Uptown Splurt. He was responsible for it. I remember the first day walking into his office, and he said, my man, he's saying under the scar, my man, what do you want to do in my club, my man? And I said, I want to do a kind of like, you know, because urban was a fresh word at the time, late night. I said, I want to do a kind of like a urban-y night. He goes, urban? What do you mean urban? I said, well,
was that word even invented then, Robert?
It was just invented. So I had to drop the urban on him, and he went, what do you mean urban? And I said, a bit of R&B. And I told him, yeah, I got this guy from Radio 1, and his ears pricked up. He said, Radio 1? Money. I didn't tell him it was a reggae guy.
You didn't have to say the word urban. You said to me, I'm going to make some money.
Well, listen,
that's what you needed to say.
I was getting there. And I said to him, well, a dude from Radio 1, me, and he said, what music? I said, a bit of R&B, a bit of slow jam, and a bit of reggae. And he went, pardon?
You're lying.
And he said to me, reggae and dancehall. And he looked in my face, and he paused for about 10 seconds. He went like that, reggae, dancehall. And he paused.
You know how much grief I got?
Yeah, but that pause was the longest pause I've ever had from anyone. And then he went, all right, I'm going to give you a chance. 13 years later, he became a millionaire. I became quarter of a millionaire.
It was fun nights, actually, because it was unheard of in the West End, if you remember back then. Being in the West End dance hall, bashment. I mean, I remember doing a night with Ernie, funny enough, in Praed Street back in those days, a long time ago.
People's Club.
Remember that? That was
Yeah, man.
that was an interesting evening. And I remember. No, I tell you what happened. I remember one night I'm playing my two-step stuff that I was used to playing, of course, and guys coming up to me going, "Where's Ernie? Where's Ernie? Yeah, be on in a minute. Get him on." I said, "Okay, no problem." So I just finished playing Luther or whatever it was. I can't even remember. I said, "Ernie, you need to come back on, mate. There's pure reggae bashment people in here. I don't think you appreciate me tonight." But then another week it'll be a nice a nice mix.
Solely vibe,
yeah. Right.
It was good vibes, yeah. But your night, oh my goodness, I think the first time I heard that kind of music in a way, bashment as it were, dance hall, because I was so used to the soul and reggae that I was kind of brought up on. So it was interesting to see. It was really, really good. And you were a pioneer in that. So big up to you. And you still haven't paid me for the rest of it. So.
I paid you, man. I paid you 10. There's a lot of people that CJ does know in the business, and especially Chelsea. So we're going to talk about Chelsea because of obviously this weekend, the big game. And obviously we have to talk about the weekend's fixture list. So let's start with our man, Ern.
Oh, man. Can you spin this bottle and go somewhere else?
No. I think we should start with Tottenham. I think we should start with lovely Tottenham. Tottenham are a club, and I don't want to use the word Spursy. I think that's so easy to use. But it's
what word would you use? What word would you use?
I would just say inconsistent.
The thing is,
I would say typical.
The thing is, the Spurs problem for me, looking as a football fan, is they invested heavily in a beautiful stadium, which they did. In fairness, that's a cracking stadium, really state-of-the-art stadium. And because of that, their hierarchy haven't really invested properly or allowed their investment to go to certain players who are just not good enough for the Premier League's top 6, let's say, okay? Because you can be top 10, but top 6 if you're that good. And in a funny way, you kind of think, well, something had to give. And I know they've been like that in the last few years, but think about it. They had to play at Wembley, and I'm being nice to Spurs fans, because they had to play at Wembley for a whole, and it's not easy because every team that turns up at Wembley is like, yes, this is like my FA Cup final. So they will get battered by teams like Norwich and Southampton, who are fun enough playing tonight at Wembley because they just raised their game. Players never played at Wembley, so it was tough for them in that year. Or whatever, 2 seasons? I can't remember. Was it 2 seasons? I can't remember.
2 seasons.
Season and a half.
So it's hard to. And then they had some strange things with the Dele Alli situation. I mean, he burst on the scene, fantastic player up at Milton Keynes, and I'm thinking, wow, what a player they got. And something I don't know what happened to the guy. And
London life happened. That's all it is.
You think so? Young. Maybe he got a lot of money early, and I know there's always that. But what a talent. And it just seems like anyway, that's that. But then Daniel Levy is not going to open up his wallet, as it were, to bring in.
Do you know what?
For the team.
Do you know what, yeah? You see, when you're talking about Spurs, and I'm going to get serious now, yeah? And I'm not going to speak serious. Yeah, I'm not going to speak about everybody's perception of Spurs, but when you talk about Spurs, what is it people expect from Spurs? You see, I think with Spurs, there's a lot of hype there. And the reason why the big clubs have an issue with us, and not so much the smaller clubs, the big clubs, is like, we shouldn't be there because we haven't won anything. Everything we should be doing or everything we've got should be based on what we've achieved. And let's not be silly. We've achieved stuff, but it was in black and white. We won the FA Cup. We've done all the stuff that... probably. We've done all the stuff that everyone's done, but it's been a long time ago. So the hype is Tottenham hasn't won anything. And that narrative stays with Tottenham. Now, when you're talking about Tottenham, you need to figure out what is it you think Tottenham should achieve and where should Tottenham be. And for me, Tottenham ain't supposed to be part of the plan. And I think that rattles a lot of you lot, especially the teams that are here.
Because you never beat.
But Ern, you're right. We didn't expect you to be here either.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Look, listen, you. Hey, listen, you got to pack it in with that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is,
Sainsbury's.
Yeah. It's right next to the stadium.
TJ, you haven't visited North London lately.
Oi, get it off.
The last time I went to North London, I think I was playing at, I don't know what the place was called. I've forgotten it now.
Oh, up in Edmonton.
Or Palm Tree. Palm Tree.
Yes.
Palm
I
Tree.
think that the thing with Tottenham is, just to chime in on what Carlos and what Ernest said, is that they have not taken constructive feedback well. It's almost as if
Speaking of feedback, we're getting some feedback. I think it's you, Ern. I reckon it's
Me.
you.
Me.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to put
From
that
where?
feed. You got to put the feedback, the anti-feedback link on your thing.
Anti-feedback. Okay,
I
I'm
don't know.
learning.
I don't know
them,
how.
see.
Well,
Crystal will
he
explain it to
he
you.
knows the anti-football because that's his team.
I think
Listen,
what you could
CJ,
do-
I'm trying to be nice here, mate. I'm trying to be nice. Go.
yeah, it's like they haven't taken. It's almost as if, like I said, constructive feedback falls on deaf ears, because it's possibly 3 managers now on the trot that have basically been echoing the same thing in terms of Tottenham not being run as a football club, it's being run as a business. And before that, you had Danny Rose that came out and he spoke quite professionally, quite boldly. And I think it was in the lead up or post the Champions League final where he said, and he was absolutely right. He said, to elevate to the next step, you need to invest in players. And for me, it was almost as if there and then he was just thrown under the bus and he was made to seem like this crazy guy who doesn't know what he's talking
He is though.
about.
Listen, he's a madman. I'm telling you. I appreciate everything he's done.
Was he not right for saying that to take it to the next step? You need to
not to the press.
players?
I don't think you come out and talk to the press about in-house stuff. You speak to the manager.
But it was
There's a way of doing
obvious,
things. Look at Lukaku. You don't do that. You don't go out and speak to people and run your mouth. You do it in-house. You see,
I'll get on to Chelsea in a minute, but the biggest mistake Spurs made was getting rid of their manager who reached the Champions League final, even though they lost.
No, I reckon it was the perfect thing to do.
They made. As soon as they got rid of Pochettino, who, by the way, will probably go to Manchester United.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Well, the thing is this: he was probably your best manager, and he had the team playing for him with what he had, and he had problems also because he was also saying kind of like, oh, I'd like this, I'd like that, and they weren't really supporting him. But nevertheless, Spurs got to that final, and hook or by crook, they got there, and that guy got them there. So why would you? I mean, it's happened obviously with my club also. You think, why do they do these things?
Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what? I will be honest with you. We're not. People will laugh and say you're million. We're not that far off. I'm telling you this now. We're not that far off. If we get proper fullback,
not far off from where?
Making top 4. We've been making top 4.
Sainsbury's,
No, hold on a minute. Let me finish. We've been making top 4 a lot of the times in the last 10 years. How many times we made it? More times than Arsenal.
Who did that?
Probably on a par with Man City in the last 10 years.
Who was your manager that made you top 4?
It was Pochettino, and he did well with what he had. He did, but then some people have a sell-by date, and his date had run out. For me, he was making too many. I think he did. He did. He got stale. But then Conte said something fantastic. He said yesterday, he said, the managers change and the players stay the same. For me, Tottenham's biggest problem is not the money, it's the recruitment. If we recruit proper players, then we'll be all right. So I think we're 2, maybe 3 players off.
It goes back to what I said about Danny Rose. It's the same thing that Danny Rose was complaining about.
I don't have an issue with what Danny Rose said, It's how you say it. You can't come out in the public and dish your employers.
Here's a question for all of you. In terms of football and the culture, does the footballing culture in this country have a problem or an issue with honesty and transparency? Because it 100%. seems as if when certain players, I'm going to say black players because they seem to be the one that the spotlight shines on the most. It seems as if certain players speak with great transparency and honesty, even from a professional standpoint, it's often brushed aside or they're made to look as if they're the problem child. When I don't think it is. But if someone else steps forward, be it a manager who isn't from said community, everyone's just like, you're a genius. You're saying the same thing.
I strongly disagree with that.
Conte's getting hammered at the moment because
you know what? I'm a Spurs fan. Ask me. I'm with Conte. I'm absolutely with him. He's saying stuff that the fans say. He's saying stuff that you guys say. Do you understand?
So was Danny Rose.
So what about the players when they say things?
No. Okay. So Danny Rose was interviewed by the newspapers. Yeah. He went to the newspapers and the newspapers asked him the question and he gave too much of an answer. You know when you're in speaking to your solicitor and they tell you not to say too much, and he just sung so much.
Only you probably know that, not you. But...
He was singing.
Chirp, chirp.
Isn't it? So I'm like, hold it down.
Is it a case of you saying you don't mind honesty and transparency so long as it's balanced? Because I think you need honesty and transparency.
I definitely think you need honesty and transparency. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's how you do it.
Yeah, the problem is the manager Conte. That's one of the reasons why he was sacked at Chelsea. He was he came to Chelsea. He took over a team that was generally were in great shape, if you like. I remember he lost to Arsenal. And he changed the setup. That he went to 3, and all of a sudden we couldn't lose.
Yeah.
Okay. In that year, I think Chelsea won the league and the FA Cup. But then the next year, he fell out with Diego Costa, and which
isn't hard, to be fair.
It wasn't hard, but he also fell out with the hierarchy because he wanted to replace Diego Costa. But the hierarchy liked Diego Costa. Right, because he'd been successful with Chelsea, so it was a complete, head to head. So Conte got himself sacked at Chelsea. He did that. It wasn't the team because we just won the league and the FA Cup.
So CJ, to be fair, managers always have head to head with individual players. That's been there from football has begun. It's never going to change. And Conte will have head to heads. Pochettino, Klopp had head to heads. We got rid of Sacco because. Yeah. When Klopp first came to the club, Sacco was a fantastic defender. Well, not fantastic; he was a good defender.
Yeah, he's one of the best. Yeah,
it happened on a pre-season. He said something.
Had it with Mane as well. Same thing.
So managers will have head to. He's had it with Salah as well.
Yeah. So but you know what? Do you know what? I must say,
captain. So
I must say this though. Yeah, I must say this. Sorry to cut you. Tottenham, in football terms, like in current football, are like the new boy. So when someone who's seasoned, like Conte, who's done it in this country, that country, and this country, comes to your club, the whole entire club has to shut their mouths and listen to what he says because he's a proven, seasoned guy. I don't care what he's done. So when he's talking, you listen. We can't be sitting there saying, "Oh, do you know what? Conte's rude. How dare he?" If a teacher's telling you've got algebra wrong, you don't say, "How dare you?"
I actually know this, but I can't say why I know this, but I will tell you this. He was going to Manchester United. But the Manchester United hierarchy were absolutely scared stiff of him because he was going to go in there and disrupt that team up there. And he didn't do it. Then Spurs actually did an interview with him and they turned him down because they were scared because Conte went, "Look, you want me there? I want to do this." Right, Sorry, and they didn't go to Spurs. All of a sudden, they were panicking then when they got rid of the other gentleman, the
Oli.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Nuno.
Cool. He smelled as well, didn't he? Nuno. Cool.
So then they get Conte. After the season started, so it's like they got what they wanted, and he feels powerful, right? Because
he does, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll be amazed if there's Tottenham fans that don't back Conte. Nah, he shouldn't have. I hope he doesn't leave.
No, I'm glad he didn't go because he would have been doing a better job there than unfortunately.
Well, I can say this. I think Harry Kane and Conte are both looking for the same exit door because it looks like.
Look at this. Look at this.
I don't know who's going to hit there first. I think Kane knows the way because he's been there longer and he understands the Tottenham system.
Kane is going to get buried at Spurs. He's going nowhere.
Can we talk about a little bit about this Harry Kane situation? Because
yes,
I find it. Why do you sign a 5-year contract, right? With the best. Yeah, hold on. No. Yeah, of course. Right?
See, I'm going to agree with you. I think you're warming up. I'm starting to like you a bit.
Contract with Spurs, right? You're getting the best money that any of their player gets. You've got probably the highest wage. Why do you sign a 5-year contract and then after 2.5, you know what? I want to leave. that for me, of course, I actually supported Levy in a way. I don't want him going to City because forget it, we wouldn't win anything, Robbo.
Oh, it'll be game over. It'll be game over.
It would be game over.
It'll be game over.
It wouldn't be game over, man.
But still,
No.
This is not
off.
German. This is not the German league. You won't run away with it every year.
No,
They will run away with. Look what he's doing with
not
Spurs.
Bayern
He's about to
Munich.
bust
Don't
the
get me wrong.
record.
Don't get me
There's
wrong,
good
but
teams. There's enough teams that disrupts the top teams. There's enough teams that can disrupt.
They do, right? The thing is, for me, I'm actually backing Levy on this one as an outside watch looking at it. He's thinking, why am I going to let him? He signed a 5-year deal, costing 250,000 a week or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he now wants to go and get 350 or whatever it is. Even if he got 150 million for him, how are you gonna replace Harry Kane? Who
You
else?
can't.
You go in the transfer market and you replace him.
You ain't replacing Harry Kane. He's the best striker in the world.
He's not the best in the world. He's
Hold on, Daddy Ernie, what'd you say, mate? What'd you say, Daddy Ernie?
He's not the best in the world. Forget
not the
that.
best.
Who is?
Not Harry
in a
Kane.
good team. Harry Kane in a top team, top 3 teams. Let's say City, Chelsea, Liverpool. Oh my goodness!
He will score goals. He will score
All
goals.
day long.
But I
sorry.
don't.
Give
I
me
think
2 strikers better than Harry Kane right now. Go.
No. Listen.
Well,
Lewandowski is a
Juventus is a top
Lewandowski is a he eats his
He's
food.
not.
And
Oh,
He's
come
not.
on.
Erling
Ern.
Haaland.
He's not.
Erling Haaland.
Ern.
He's not. He's not.
Let's forget the
He's
young
in
kids.
Germany.
Hang on. Let's forget the young pups. Lewandowski is a killer.
He's a killer. He's good. He can eat on the same table as Harry Kane at the buffet, but he's not better than Harry Kane. Harry Kane is the complete forward. He can score goals. He can be a poacher. He can find an assist. There's strikers out there that can't do what Harry Kane does.
Look,
I'm sorry.
I've got to tell you, I was like, hey, can we just? I thought for a minute Chelsea were going to buy him at one stage, but of course Levy would never sell it to Spurs.
Mate, he's not going anywhere. All this talk is void. He will not go to any other. Oi, get it off. He's not going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? But I will say one last thing before we change the Tottenham subject here. I think Tottenham live rent-free in people's heads, and people think that Tottenham. People. Tottenham. You have to understand this. Tottenham are not supposed to be part of the plan, but they're there, and they've done it without actually winning trophies. They're part of the top 6. They will make the top 4. Remember, I said it.
I can assure you, probably. I mean, and Crystal is an Arsenal fan, but probably only Arsenal fans you live in there.
Definitely not.
No one.
No, you do. They do.
I like Tottenham. They're a nice little football team, nice stadium, but
look, he's trying to buoy us off.
I can give you guys credit for the past, say, there was a season where you had possibly 3+ years on the trot where it was just flamboyant football. Like CJ said, you made Wembley your fortress. There was times I was going to Wembley and covering the games for The Voice. And I was just like, this is incredible football. You can't deny it. But I'm not going to say you live rent-free in my head. You definitely
Crystal, wasn't that under Pochettino though?
Yeah. Glamorous football. Football.
Listen, big up Pochettino. I hope he comes back, but I don't want him at Spurs, mate. No way. He does.
Well, he's going to Man United. I know Ernie knows where he's going.
Let him go.
Another player that, I mean, CJ. We've talked enough about Tottenham, guys. If you agree with our man Ernie, smash the dislike button. If you agree with him. If you disagree with him, smash the like. Do what you guys did. But where you think you going, boy? You ain't playing this weekend. I got Harvards.
I actually
frightening.
Imagine Harry Kane did what Lukaku did. Go to the next country and say, "Oh mate, I just can't take it."
Another disgruntled footballer, CJ Carlos. What's going on?
Oh man.
The thing is with Lukaku, when you have to remember something, the Italian league, the Spanish league, the German league is less superior than the Premier. This is my personal today. It wasn't before. La Liga in Italy was the tops before the Premier League, if you remember back in the days of Van Basten, Bullet, all them lot, right?
That sounds very Chelsea-ish what you're about to say.
Mate, smells a bit.
No, what I'm about to say is this. They played, Lukaku played a different, Conte, oddly enough, played a different system in Italy with Inter that gave the best for Lukaku. What that means is he had the balls down the channel on his left side and on his right, and also he got crosses in. what I've noticed with Chelsea, and it sometimes frustrates me because I'm a Chelsea fan, I see him making the move and run, and he don't get.
But no one else is.
They're not passing him the ball.
They're not. So he'll go right. I'll make the run there. Now Lukaku is never going to be one of these players who'll go from the left to the right hand side of the pitch. Yeah, he's going to stay in this pocket in the middle.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's a bit frustrating for us. Also, he needs to do a bit more, and he is a big guy, right? Strong, and he's quick. I just feel that he burns himself out doing so many of these little runs when he doesn't get the ball, and he gets frustrated himself and also tired. And if you watch him carefully when he plays a full game, you kind of see some of that in his play. The players will be looking up for him. You're going to make the run then, and they go to pass it, and they'll pass sideways. I hate that.
So what are they doing in training then? He's making these runs.
So what they do, the way Chelsea play with the three at the back, the two wing backs, and the false nine. Say if he's not playing, if you watch them, like for instance the other day against Lille, you got Havertz, Pulisic, and Ziyech on the other side. They're moving around so much. People. That's why City, oddly enough, they want a striker. But look what they're doing. They're hammering teams because nobody quite knows who to pick up.
To mark, yeah.
When you put Lukaku in the team, when you put Lukaku, I want him. Please, since we lost Ben Chilwell, the left.
Chilwell and James is Lukaku's problem.
Reece James, and Ben Chilwell.
That's Lukaku's problem right there.
Right there, because if you remember, before they got injured, he was scoring goals because they were crossing the ball to him. He's a big. They weren't
only crossing.
In the final, recently, the FIFA final.
Yeah.
Look at that cross from Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah.
Prime example. That is Lukaku's game. You've got to get the crosses in. He's not gonna. He's quick, but he's not gonna outpace you like Sterling or Foden will or anyone like that. So for me, Tuchel.
He's a goal hanger.
No,
he's not a goal hanger.
He's a bit more.
Yeah.
You have to.
No, he's no good. He's no good, mate.
Is he going to play on Sunday? Is he going to play on Sunday?
I think he plays on Sunday.
He plays on Sunday.
If he plays on Sunday, Van Dijk and Liverpool would destroy him. If he plays Sunday, Chelsea are playing with 10 men because he's too limited. You can't be limited when you're playing top teams.
I don't think it.
Lukaku, he's done it. He's done it at West Brom. He's done it at Everton. And in fairness, he did it at
Man United as well.
Yeah,
he did it at Man United.
He did what at Man United?
Right.
Oh, come on. He scored goals, man. He put them in the back.
His record speaks for himself.
When he wasn't playing, that's where his problem started, where he wasn't getting picked.
No, he was eating cooked food, mate. That's what it was. He was eating way too many pies. He put on so much weight at United.
There's another issue. When he arrived from Italy, he was lean cuisine.
Yeah. You see that? Now look at him. Now he looks like Luke Shaw.
Because he's not playing.
Yeah, I kind of agree. He's probably been to my bagel shop up in... I used to go to when I used to leave Oasis. I used to go up there. So the thing is this: he does look a little bit bigger than he was, but nevertheless, he's still a big guy. And let me tell you, I still have him in my team.
100%. I think he plays.
No way.
We'll talk about if he plays, but I mean, I think he has got you do have a headache problem when you leave him out because last week being the stat that he broke. Which was widely publicized.
Robbo,
7 touches.
In Abu Dhabi, like 48 hours before, 100-degree heat. Come on, I can't. The whole team wasn't quite on a game. We got lucky at Palace. But
7 touches.
I know.
There's a problem. There is a problem with him and the other players.
I agree.
He's not good enough. I don't know why we're talking. He's not good enough.
I can't. How you say he's not good enough? He's scoring. What he does for Belgium, replicates Harry Kane at England.
He's not good enough, mate.
And Spurs wanted to sign Lukaku, you'd be dancing up and down in your kitchen.
Do you know what? It depends how much for.
Yeah, there you go. He's changed his tune.
If it's too much money, if it's 20 million, with 20 million, that's no problem.
Forget the money.
Yeah.
If he had the players to supply him,
if he went to Arsenal, ask this lovely young lady what she would think of Lukaku went to Arsenal tomorrow.
He'd be a beast.
I think Arsenal
Yeah,
fans
but
will definitely take Lukaku because
Nah,
he's
you don't
proven it. Every club that he's played for is
They're missing
proven
a
it.
striker. Arsenal just missing that
Nice.
one striker to get to that top four. Because at the
I
moment,
don't think it's him.
they're like,
Lukaku's very limited. He needs the ball to be put on his feet. He's got a
Here's the man
touch,
that puts the ball to
first
his
touch
feet.
like a brick wall.
yeah.
That's the man that puts the ball to his feet. Come on, brother.
Look,
Put
He
it
ain't
in the
gonna be there
match.
much.
Arsenal.
He ain't gonna be there much long
Arsenal,
either.
they'd be dancing in the streets if he went to Arsenal. Let me tell you.
Yeah, for 20 mil, yeah. But you know what I mean?
That's the thing. So Chelsea's way, we've got so many options. That's the thing with Chelsea. So many
Yeah.
top players. You can't please everybody. Now
Yeah,
you've got Hudson-Odoi coming back. Pulisic is just getting a run in the team because he's kind of injury prone and he's a quality player.
Yeah.
Conte, Kovacic in the midfield, fantastic. Look, the game on Sunday with Liverpool.
Let's talk about that game, CJ.
I mean, the Liverpool team, I think, is phenomenal. I mean, I'm not just saying. I like the way Klopp. Don't forget, Klopp took 5 years. I want everyone to understand this.
No, that is vital.
Right?
5 years.
Everyone's moaning about Chelsea. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, well, you mean the Champions League winners? You mean the Europa winners? You mean the FIFA Club winners? You mean right? And in one season, he's won more trophies than any manager's won in 5 years. So Klopp took 5 years to get that team, and now he's got the team he wants and probably going to create more. He a great signing from Porto. The Diaz, the fantastic signing from Porto, and now offensively they're just dangerous, very dangerous. But
it's a big game.
When you play a top team like City or Chelsea, you can't just go and play like you normally do.
Yeah, of
right?
course. No,
so it's going to be a little bit, how you're going to play.
It's going to be a war of attritions against Chelsea, but these two guys know each other. And they know each other inside out. We saw the two games this season, the draw at Anfield, and obviously Chelsea went a man down. You defended, and there you saw it, the defense that won them the Champions League. Yes. And then we went again to Stamford Bridge. We didn't have Klopp in the dugout. We didn't have our goalkeeper. Both teams suffered from injuries. Both teams suffered from COVID, and they still put on a rip-roaring game. That was Was it the 2-2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-2. So I don't think this cup final is going to be a walkover for either side. But do you think, CJ, the game, let's move to the chase. Do you think it's going to be one inside of 90 minutes?
Yes, I do. Because there's so much offensive players on show.
Someone's got some feedback going on.
Yeah, I just think...
that might be you know, bro.
Mate, I haven't touched anything, mate. Can you hear me now?
Feedback.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I think they've got too many offensive players, both teams. So
turn your mic down a bit, Ern. Your headphones, I think. Yeah,
Can you see Liverpool playing defensively? I haven't seen them play defensively. Chelsea can. I just feel it's going to be like cat and mouse first 20 minutes. Bit crazy, but I think it will be one in 90 minutes. I think there's just too many offensive players on show. Just too many. Yeah. They really are.
There's a lot.
I could toss a coin here. I could say, I want Chelsea, but it's 50-50. No one can say who's going to win Sunday.
Yeah.
Two top teams. And it'd be good for the neutrals to watch, not for us. Or
she's shaking her head. She's not having a bar of it.
No, I'm shaking my head, and I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's actually the perfect two teams at the moment.
Yeah.
Outside of Manchester City, and obviously Liverpool beat Arsenal to get to the final. But you're talking about a Chelsea team that recently completed all trophy there is to win in terms of club. Every single trophy, they've got it all in their locker.
They've done it all. They've done it
all. What can you say to them? They've done it all.
The thing is the other side of it is we're kind of frustrated because we've drawn so many games, Robbo. That's why we're not. We're 10 points behind Liverpool. I don't know if it's less than that. No,
10 points.
10 points. So we've just drawn so many games, and when we had vital injuries to key players like Reece James, you don't understand how.
He's the man. He's important for you guys.
His emergence in the team. I mean, it's literally put Azpilicueta to retirement. Really,
it's very much like Alexander Arnold. How Alexander Arnold came from the product of the youth system.
I think he's a better finisher.
I'm not going to say it's because of Chelsea. He has left foot, right foot. He can play the midfield, and he actually, he started out as a striker in the youth.
Yeah, I say that. See, I thought so because he can hit the ball proper.
Yeah, and he's got a chance to play on Sunday. I don't know if he's going to risk him because he'll be up against Salah. I think
Hasn't trained.
he's trained. He's trained. He's had 2 or 3 training sessions now, and it's looked good for him. I don't know if he's going to use him, but
I would play him if I was Chelsea.
we didn't have these players in certain games. Burnley turn up and they do their usual long ball, and so we drew.
Don't I know it, mate? Don't I know it?
Yeah, you know it. So the thing is this, it's like you can't be drawing these games. Chelsea cannot be drawing 8 games, I think we've drawn. We just can't be drawing those. And if you want to stay with the top 2. And the difference, Liverpool get that result, City get that result.
CJ, how is it that Chelsea, such a massive squad, lose Chilwell and James, and you haven't fixed that? This is Chelsea we're talking about.
Yeah,
this is the original, not double team. This is the original treble team. We have 3 players for each position. What happened there?
Yeah, I think they had Azpilicueta over there to go on that side. They had the way he plays on the left side. Only Alonso, really, the main left side he plays.
And you got rid of Livramento, sent him to.
We've got like 3 players. We just got back Kennedy, who's been like on a holiday, but he's been to 3 different teams, and he's come back now because of because of the Chilwell.
Didn't you guys have Lamptey as well?
Lamptey, that was before.
Lamptey,
he was a right back. He's
unbelievable. I'd do anything for him to come to Spurs.
If you look at Chelsea, we've got some fantastic youngsters who have given away or on loan, and it's a business. At the end of the day, they've done really well. They've kept them, and it's good to see Hudson-Odoi, Reece James, Mason Mount is probably unbelievable growth in his. I mean, he'd be number 1 in the team if he's fit. Mason Mount stop running. England player now.
He's a little. I think he's a little bit overrated personally.
Mason Mount.
Yeah,
a lot of work. He does a lot of work.
But I think it's typical.
He works in the Chelsea system.
Yeah. He weren't that great. He weren't that great in the Euros.
Well, he's a young player.
If you look at the thing is with the Euros, you got to remember you got Maguire at the back.
Who's useless.
With a fridge on his
I was waiting for comedy.
I'm 60 years old, 14 stone. I can turn quicker than him.
You know that, bro. I've been saying that all season.
It's the big problem. That you talk about overrated.
He really smells.
So at the end of the day, but I'm just going back to what I like to see was the players coming through.
But where are those players to because you've had that
all unknown, isn't it?
That's obviously as you said, those 2 players are the players that leave so much. They make the pitch so big. Lukaku's got so many places he can run into. You can pop the balls through. Now it's very narrow.
It's going to happen. Look. When you lose qualities, I mean, Chilwell's left.
Yeah, but I'm saying Chelsea. You should have had replacements. That's what we know Chelsea for.
Here's the problem, Robbo. You can't have a replacement sitting on his behind.
You did this. You've done this for 20 years.
No, I know, but you know what I mean. You get someone just as good, not quite, who's willing to sit there. Others won't do it. So that's the problem. That's the problem you have because a left back. Once they find a left back, you're staying there for life, literally. Alonso will come in, but Alonso can't run back. He can go forward. He's brilliant going forward, but he can't defend.
So does Alonso? So do you see Alonso playing against Salah on Salah's side on Sunday?
Salah would love that.
I see Hudson-Odoi playing there.
What?
Yeah,
wing
back. Yeah.
Mate, he's gonna be over. Don't do that.
Well, let's put it this way: it can't be worse than having Alonso there because Salah would just walk past him. I mean, it's just
And on the other side, it'll be Azpilicueta against Mane.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think Reece will play. I think it'll be Kovacic, Conte.
Do you remember Mane welcomed in the game at Stamford Bridge nice and early? Are you playing on my side?
Should have been a red. That should have been
a red. That was horrible.
Anyway,
do you know what battle I'm looking forward to? I've just had a thought. I'm looking forward to Van Dijk and Lukaku. Now, I think there's any one striker that can deal with Van Dijk, it'll probably be Lukaku. If you play the ball to his feet,
you know what?
I'm being honest because he's a
play the ball beyond him, and he gets
Van Dijk,
beyond him. Yeah,
Van
not to his
Dijk
feet.
goes to church every Sunday, and he says, "Thank you, God, that I didn't play against Didier Drogba."
100%.
That's the man I want to see back at Chelsea. Please,
man.
Yeah, if he was
and one last thing about the Chelsea squad. You've also got a situation where, I mean, he made his name in the Carling Cup final. He is slated to start. Your goalkeeper, Kepa. Does he start on Sunday?
No way. No way.
Look at his face. That's the face he gave me when I said I'm bringing dancehall to the West End.
You're probably right. You know,
CJ, send him a text now. Don't let the Tuchel do it.
And Robert, in fairness to him, what he's done for himself, he's gotten better.
He's got better.
He was a calamity. He got
No chance.
CJ,
hold on.
CJ,
Mendy, of course I'm going to put Mendy, but he's not going to.
CJ, you got to stop. No way.
That would kill him. That would kill Kepa right now if he puts.
Kill him!
Kill him then. What are you talking about?
No, he won't. He'll play Kepa.
Ah, mate. All right, Liverpool won.
I'll put money on it. He'll play. No, listen. I have to be honest with you. In fairness, he has got his levels of risen.
It's risen.
If you remember when
Ernie's only played a handful of games. If he was playing a run of games, you wouldn't be saying that.
No, Robert. I remember when De Gea came to Manchester United. He had the same problem.
We're talking about two different situations, bro.
No. He had the same problem, and then
What did he have?
Hey, Daddy, you all right, man?
Ernie, De Gea didn't come to as the world record-breaking
It
goalkeeper.
was a lot of money when he came.
No, he wasn't world record-breaking. And let's be fair, De Gea didn't have a night. He didn't have his nightmare like how. I mean, Kepa has done this at the highest level.
You didn't want to come off when you're sub.
De Gea had time. De Gea had time. Kepa didn't have any time.
He was like a matchstick when he come.
But Kepa didn't have any time.
Kepa had to get it going because he was like 80 million or something like that. He had to be good from the jump.
The thing is, he has improved. And by the way, he is Chelsea's best penalty saver. That's in training and everything. That's why they did that move where they took Mendy off and brought him on for one of the. Do you remember one of the?
Yeah, but Saka was England's best penalty taker before the final of the Euros.
Look at him.
Who?
So what? Saka was England's best penalty taker before the Euros. In training, it's one thing.
But hold on a minute. If you talk about England, going back to that at the Euros, that was funny. The route that they went, I mean, we could all have reached the final with no disrespect to anybody else, because the group of death, you had Portugal, France, Germany, all on that side. It's crazy. Would England have got to the final if they were in another? No.
Yeah, they would have, because Harry Kane was captain.
No. Yeah, but it was Raheem Sterling that carried you to the final.
Here we go.
Raheem dragged you to the final. If it wasn't for Raheem, you wouldn't have even got to the semi-final.
Here we go.
That's true. That is very true. So it's the same old thing with going back to the systems that people play. When you play a certain system, when Frank Lampard was at Chelsea, Kepa suffered because he played 4-4-2. And it's a difference because you don't have the three, at the back. And Kepa suffered, and it made him look even worse. And in fairness to him, I think he'll play Sunday. He's been playing in all the Carabao Cup games, so he's going to play.
I reckon
CJ, if he plays, you will lose, man.
Liverpool will play now second string goalkeeper Kelleher, the Irish kid, and Klopp has said it. he's already said it.
But Klopp
plays.
I saw the last.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. So 1 second. That's a curveball. Is he playing?
He's playing. He said he's playing.
All right.
He's playing.
Chelsea's back in, man.
No. I mean, but Klopp
just pop long shots.
It's interesting because one of the Carabao Cups he played, like I didn't know half the team he played. That's going to happen on Sunday. He's going to play all these big boys because it's a trophy at the end of the day.
I think that's the only player that Liverpool will feel that most of the fans would feel. Wow, I don't know. I don't think
first team. He'll play the top team.
Yeah, he's playing the whole first team, and he's been playing that whole first team in the last 2 games. So if you're looking at how Liverpool go into that game, just take a look at what he's done in the last couple of games. You wouldn't have started Mane down the middle for fun. Mane plays down the middle against your 3 at the back, Salah and Diaz, and I think it will be Fabinho.
Fabinho's out.
Henderson comes back.
Not Fabinho. Firmino. Sorry, Firmino's out.
Yeah, Fabinho, and I think it will be Thiago and the original back 4. The shut the door back 4. So I think that's what we go.
We've got the wizard Ziyech on the wing, so he's just
he's playing for his contract, isn't he?
Now.
He's playing for that contract.
He's coming up with a cigar. He's a bit arrogant because he's apparently one of the most skillful players at Chelsea. But
Hudson do a job down there. Hudson will do a job. It won't be easy for who's going to be marking Hudson-Odoi because it won't be easy for them.
It's a big pitch. It's a big pitch.
It's one thing.
Havertz could play. If Lukaku comes in, Havertz will be pushed to the left side.
I want
That's what I'm
Havertz to
saying.
start.
Havertz is the clutch player for Chelsea. So
I like
far
Havertz.
in terms of cup finals, did it in the
Yeah, he's a big game player,
in
isn't
the
it?
World
Big game
Club.
player.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So he's
he is.
their clutch player. So
Mount could
and
play.
Minamino
it's
as
gonna
well
be good.
for Liverpool. A lot of people not focusing on Minamino, but he's their leading goal scorer so far in the Carabao Cup. So there's plenty
Is
of
he?
squad depth. Yeah, he's out there, clear
player,
runner.
yeah.
Exactly. So that's another surprise to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
You're looking at the two best teams in the land at the moment. With
I think both teams have got big
Don't
game
get carried
players.
away.
It will definitely be one of them taking the final. If it's not Kai Havertz, it will be probably Mane. It's going to be one of the big game players that wins it. But at the end of the day, look, CJ, you made the best team. Well, it's a cup final, and that's how I see it. I hope Liverpool go on to more things after winning this. Usually, and Ernie can testify, back in the 80s, and when Liverpool were like the great team, they used to use the Milk Cup or whatever it was called to be the springboard into winning the league. They'd be miles behind other teams, and once they won that Wembley final, they just romped the league.
Yeah,
but I think we romped the league anyway.
You know what I want? I want a good game.
Stop your intuition nonsense, bro.
We want a good game. No nonsense VAR. Crazy nonsense. If Chelsea are going to lose, fair enough. The best team won. I don't want silly referee decisions. That kind of thing, because like when we were up at Anfield, that happened with Reece James. It was like ruined the game. In actually, we nearly won it with 10 men actually at Anfield.
Yeah.
In the end, Klopp could work out how to break down Chelsea.
Yeah, we couldn't break.
I don't know. I think Klopp's records in finals. I don't know. Is it any good or? I don't know. What do you reckon?
He's won.
Well,
he's kind of broken that hoodoo now. I think
his conversion rate's pretty poor, isn't it?
Hey, listen, I think the guy we've got to watch out for is the Swiss Army knife, Conte, man. If Conte decides that he's going to headlock Fabinho, Henderson, and Thiago, it's a wrap.
He's an incredible player.
I think he has to be the most underrated footballer.
No, he's not underrated.
I don't think he's underrated.
Bro,
I don't think
everybody knows his value.
I think everyone loves.
We rate him. He's underrated, CJ. He's not talked about. You turn on them pundits. They do
Have you
not
seen
talk
his
about
trophy
Conte.
cabinet? World
but he's
Cup,
not glamorous,
Champions
is he?
League.
He's not glamorous, and he's not really a looker, is he? Do you know what I mean? He's not the full package.
No, you know what? He's amazing. He turns up to the training ground in his mini. He still's got the mini. He's got a mini coupe.
He just plays football. He just likes to play football.
That's all he wants.
Mini coupe. Everyone in their Ferraris, and he turns up in his mini coupe and says, "Morning."
Unassuming, innit? Unassuming.
Yeah. I like Fabinho, and Fabinho is my DM, but boy, N'Golo Kante. Jeez,
but you can't mention Fabinho in the same breath as Kante. That's liberties.
Why?
I think that's a disrespect. I think it's a disrespect too.
He's won a Champions League and a league. What's your
He's
problem?
not in the same league as Kante.
Not as a player. I agree with that.
All right.
That's a bit of a disrespect that was, Robbo, mate.
You need
You bang out of order there, mate.
No, I did say I would bite your hands off for Kante, N'Golo Kante at Liverpool under Klopp.
Yeah,
but you nearly lost your reg when you said he's not the same as Fabinho.
Because I've seen Fabinho has taken big trophies, man. What's the problem? Just
I'm not having it.
So is Kante.
Anyway, listen. We just want some predictions. Let's get some predictions from the viewers out there. So I know
here we go. Daddy's going to get me.
There's crazy Chelsea fans all over this. So, and we got other fans. I mean, biased or unbiased, Tottenham fans, Arsenal fans. Who do you think is going to take this Carling Cup? So drop your comment.
Daddy.
Burnley fans won't be listening to us.
They won't understand us, will they?
Yeah, you know.
So I can tell you right now, Southampton are leading right now in the game against Norwich.
Tell me who scored.
Adams.
Is it Chelsea loaner? Is it the loaner? We've loaned another player at Southampton.
Che Adams. Hey, Crystal, Che Adams could have played for Jamaica. What's going on?
Really?
We're going to have to speak to Ernie about that. He's got the links with Jamaica, so I'm doing the groundwork. I'm in the gutter, but Ernie's the one that's got the contact.
What's his name? He's in hospital, isn't he? He was in hospital. That's why he never come on.
What's his name?
A man from Jamaica, man.
Ooh, there's plenty of man from Jamaica.
No, the
Rare
man,
nephew, man.
we had
Which
him on
man?
here before. I forgot his name. His name's on the tip of my tongue.
Okay, get it out. Get it out now.
Don't worry, I'll get it for you in a minute.
Yeah, all right, man.
But he wasn't working. But on the other hand, my mate Leroy is listening to us in Barbados, and he said the minute you started talking about Harry Kane, he switched off. So don't mention it.
Hey, where's Leroy? Get him the blower.
He's in Barbados.
Hey, come on, Leroy, if you can hear me, mate, you're bang out of order, mate. Harry Kane's the guy.
Ernie, that's the same way you talk about Maguire. I know there must be piles of Man United fans. They switch off when you start complaining about Maguire. Maguire, look, Man United are 14 games unbeaten. Is it 14 games unbeaten now?
Oh,
Man United with Maguire at the back.
no, that's nothing to do with him. Did you see him the other night against Atletico Madrid? Oh,
This Bambi on ice.
But it's a hard place to go. That was a hard place to go.
Look, you just 80 million. You nowhere's hard to go.
Look, you can't blame
80 million pounds.
Look, the thing is, with players now. I mean, what's Conte worth if he went tomorrow, right? So you can't. It's not about. It's like, you look at the player, forget the fee, and you think, really, are you really this? Is this it? Is this what you've got?
Yeah.
Why did someone like Manchester United buy this player? Because he's like a Leicester, Wolves, mid-table kind of player. No disrespect.
I don't think he's Wolves. I don't think he's Wolves.
Maybe he's not even Wolves. He's so.
He's better than Conor Cody.
Against.
Are you crazy?
I swear
Is
he
it
is.
Conor Cody's stats for Wolves?
Now, I might have been Conor Cody. He smelled really bad yesterday.
No.
How many fouls that he's given away because of his lack of speed,
Immobility,
turning, and things like that. He fouls every time he goes up in the air. Up at Manchester United, I remember a game where he had his arms around Azpilicueta to defend a cross coming in, and that wasn't given. I don't know why it wasn't given, but anyway, he's just. I'm sorry, he's just not.
I don't think Maguire gets back into Leicester's team.
No.
He does.
I'm surprised.
Hey, sometimes you guys are out of order,
He's going to get back into the England team. That's the
He's
thing.
better than Soyuncu.
No.
He's not better
What?
than Johnny Evans.
No.
They
He's
should
not
play
better than Johnny
Walker.
Evans.
Listen,
They got a guy called
Walker.
Amati that plays in the back, who's a midfielder. He's better than Harry Maguire.
Nah, you guys are bang out.
Man
of
United
order
fans,
today.
come at me, man. Come at me.
Look,
Come on.
Manchester
Wow.
United, when they get a proper manager, will play as a team. They're playing as individual quartets at the moment.
What do you think about Ernie? What do you think about? Sorry, not Ernie. CJ. What do you think about Chelsea's performance against Lille? That was. I mean, they're not a. It was a tricky. It could have been tricky,
Well,
but
you have to remember something. They were the French champions last year, although most of their best players are gone.
I mean, God,
So I don't know if that really makes the argument. So
I'm going to be controversial here. I think Burnley can beat Lille. Let's not get excited here, man.
well,
I think Lille is not that good.
they got some decent players, but they weren't going to be good enough for Chelsea.
Yeah,
You're not going to roll over teams 3 and 4, 5-0 unless they get back.
that's true.
Right? Liverpool rolled over Leeds this week, and it's
Rolled over. They should have got kicked out Leeds after that performance.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Leeds, he doesn't change the way he plays. He goes, okay, I'm losing 3-0. I'll stay the same. No,
They'll beat us weekend. We got them next. Tottenham.
The thing is, and here, I think you got Tottenham, haven't you? They got Tottenham.
Yeah, they got us.
And here's
I
the
think
funniest
Tottenham.
thing.
I think
They'll
Tottenham
beat-
will
they'll
upset
beat
this
Tottenham
weekend.
on Sunday.
No, they
We
won't.
got unbeaten for the rest of the season
No.
after Conte's outburst.
No, after that outburst, I think Tottenham wallops them. So
No,
listen,
we ain't
Ernie,
losing
what
again
about
this year.
Or the opposite.
Ernie? Your man, is it Laganga?
Nakonga.
Good player.
No, it's not Lakonga.
Elanga.
Ilanga, beg your pardon.
Elanga. Yeah, he
So-
looks all right,
So this Ilanga has turned up.
He comes from
And-
Sweden or
And
something.
No, it's not.
he's Swedish.
He plays
What do
for
you mean?
Sweden.
Swedish.
He plays for Sweden.
Yeah, it's Swedish.
Well, I'm Turkish then.
What?
I think his
Do you think
dad
your
is.
guy gets back in the team? Do you
I'm
think
Scottish.
your man gets back his shirt?
Well, I would start him ahead of Rashford right now.
Yeah, so would I. I'd start ahead of Rashford. Rashford?
I would start him ahead of Rashford right now.
So what's
Definitely.
happened to Rashford, Ernie? Where did he
Ernie
start?
reckons he's his girl.
He wants to work for the members of parliament. That's what he wants to do.
Ernie came here with his intuition and said it was the man's girl.
What happened? He broke up with his girl, CJ.
Can't say that. You can't say that.
He did. He broke up with his girl. That, if you track it back to November, right? That's when his form started going wrong. And then he's got back with her and he slowly started getting back. I think they must have fallen out again.
No,
because he's just
I
gone
don't
wrong.
believe that. Nothing to do with his girl.
Nah, man. When he's on the field, he should be coming off with anything off the field should be off, and he just focus on his football.
Whatever he's done off the field, I think is brilliant. I think what he's done off the field, seriously, is brilliant. Watching him, well, good for him. Now let's talk about the football. Right, let's talk the football side. He's doing what Dele Alli did at Spurs.
Bingo, CJ. Well done. That's it. That's all it is. You see he's dyeing his hair now. He has a nice low fade.
You could not catch this guy. You couldn't catch him for love or money, right?
It's just young money now.
Give him the ball. Bang, bang, bang. England, bang, bang, bang. All of a sudden, the money's come in. Millions. The boys.
He's just so predictable now. You know what he's going to do.
Probably earned 25, 30 million already, right? For his age. Because when you look at wages now, if you think at 200,000, you do the math, right? So he's doing exactly the same thing that Dele Alli did at Spurs. And I find this is weird because the guy's so much talent. The attitude goes, and some people are strong mentally. And if you're not strong mentally, you can put you back because another player comes in your position and that's it. They play someone else.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to be controversial here. I reckon it coincides with Lingard staying. I think sometimes when you've got a bit of a bad influence around you, not that Lingard is a rubbish footballer, but as soon as Lingard stayed, because they're mates, innit? You can kind of see something. I think he had to leave for him to be good. Because when Lingard wasn't around, Rashford was the guy.
Right.
Now he's around. That could play a part of it. You never know, man.
You know,
that's what CJ's saying. It's mentality. You just have to have that mentality.
Look, why did players like this is a prime example. The Brazilian Ronaldo, 30 years old. Rooney, 30 years old. Retire. Do me a favor. Why? They made enough money. Lazy mentality gone. Ronaldo, 37 years old. It's not about money for him.
Yeah, different mentality.
He's doing his mentality.
Milner,
like him or not, people may like him or not. He's a true professional. He'll be the last one off the pitch and the training. He'll be the last one to do whatever. Now, he's not as fast as he was, but I'd still have him in my team today because he would 100%. Score goals for you. He's a goal machine. Always has been. Always will till he died. You know, till he's finished. Thank you. We were blessed to see someone like Ronaldo and Messi in our time. So the point being, really, sorry, I didn't have the. Oh, hello.
We got you.
Yeah, we got you.
I can't see anybody. So anyway,
we can see you.
Okay, and where are we? Down here. I can't see anybody. It doesn't matter. So really, my point being, the Manchester United situation is, I think Rashford, outside of football, is a fantastic role model for kids. Seems like a nice guy as well. You know, his mother seems a lovely person, and what he's done, that was brilliant. But he's got to get his day job on track.
Do you think it comes back? Do you think it comes back with Rashford?
Nah, he's done. He's done now. He's done.
No, of course it can come back.
I think.
Nah, he's done.
I think to add some balance with the whole Marcus Rashford situation, I think he obviously seems like a humble guy. He seems focused, but there's a limit to your focus when you're at a club like Manchester United. No disrespect to Manchester United, because it just seems quite toxic at the moment. It just seems like you would need that bit of cutting edge to truly be able to maximize your potential and go out there and flourish. And you could probably say something quite similar for someone like Anthony Martial. We saw how clinical Martial can be. And, you know, the last transfer window, he said, I don't want to be part of this. We've got World Cup coming up this year. I want out. I want to go and test myself somewhere else. That kind of speaks volumes as to on the situation that Manchester United are facing at the moment. You've got arguably the biggest club in the world. You're still in Champions League football. You could still finish in the top 4. And one of your key players are saying, I don't want to be here no more. So there surely has to be something that's going on internally that we're not aware of. And also, I think Marcus Rashford, I rate him as a player and as tremendous stuff that he's done for kids and so on. But I think his biggest problem is him. The fact that you don't allow your body to recover. You don't allow your body to, build and go again. It's like a rush job with Marcus Rashford. Picks up an injury and then he goes and says, okay, I'm ready. Let's go again. And he's that player that unfortunately puts country over club.
But do you think it's country? I think, and I have this conversation with my man Curtis. I think he puts brand over everything. I think Marcus Rashford is becoming.
He's a brand now, isn't it? He's like a set off.
You're at a club, and you remember you go into Manchester United, you see the pictures of the wall of people like the David Beckhams, and I think it's a brand thing, and I believe the mentality hasn't caught up with the brand because coming back to play football after an injury, he's young, he'd have expected, but you can clearly see it's not there. He's footballing on the pitch. It's just not there. It's like the biggest shadow of a player.
Think about it now. Thinking about just move off football, just slightly football, because we're a lot of us.
I'm talking about balance. We need to bring balance. The cat is in the building. Manchester City is in the house. This is beautiful. Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City. Anyway, I was saying.
And Manchester United.
My goodness, how are you, my man?
Yeah, man, I'm good.
Hey, you know when we had a problem when there was smoking ban at Cameos, and they said no more smoking. We couldn't hear Top Cat tuning up.
I had to tell Top Cat, I had to tell him, being him go back. My God,
man, me and CJ go back decades.
Wow. Good to see. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
He's like the cat that got the milk. He's at the top of the table, isn't he? But I'm coming.
Of course he is. Yeah.
Welcome.
We need help. You lot need to join the party and try and stop us with this Man City lot, man. I don't know. You lot just cave when Man City turn up.
Well, hold on a minute.
Do you know what I mean?
Chelsea were the only team that beat them last year 3 times, and
that was last year. I'm talking about this year.
The important time was the final.
Yeah,
that's very
true.
I was not happy.
No, of course not. We were not. But you know something? We got in their heads because it's like that mentality. Oh, these guys have beaten us already twice, right? We beat them in a semi-final of the FA Cup, and then we beat them at home. I think it was at home.
Well, Leicester beating them, and it's not worth for Leicester.
No, I know. But
I heard that.
Players, the City players, and look at Guardiola. He left out Fernandinho, he left out Rodrigo. He tried to play 6 strikers against Chelsea.
Oh man!
Yeah. And he got punished for that.
Kat, the last time you was on the show was obviously the lead up to the Champions League final. Or have you been on the show since then?
No, he's been on since then.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
He's been on since then.
All right. Well, let me start again. So the last time you was on the show, you was miles behind everybody, and now being miles ahead of everybody. 12 points.
Not finished yet. Liverpool can catch them.
12 points.
Nah, they're not catching them.
How comfortable is the cheer right now? And I know you always give your honest opinion, but losing 9 points, Liverpool getting 9 points on you, how does that look?
You don't look good. But it is what it is. It's game after game. And at the end of the season, we will see who's at the top.
Why has it happened? We obviously see the bad results, but from your eyes, you get to see all the matches. You actually, I'm pretty sure you can actually sense it happening, turning. But why has that happened?
Well, it's a whole heap of games we're playing, yeah, and every team is fighting. So that's what happens, yeah. Occasionally, the plan doesn't work, and it goes wrong, but it's only an occasional thing. The same thing will happen for Liverpool. Every team will
get feedback, Ernie. Get feedback, Ern.
For me?
Yeah, definitely from you. Go on, sorry, Kat, you were saying?
Yeah, well, every team will drop points. Yeah, no team is perfect, so every team will drop points. But like I said, it's at the end of the season who's managed to get the most points. They're the one who's going to be at the top. So at the moment, it's between Liverpool and Manchester City. Yeah,
but I just want to get a sense of why do you think the gap has? Why do you think you guys haven't gone on to just do what Manchester City always does? Once they get a lead, it's like a thoroughbred. These guys are off, mate. You ain't catching them. Why? What has caused that stall?
We didn't get the lead.
You had 12 points.
No, I'm talking about in the game. It's
Oh,
all
okay.
about every game. It's not about how many points.
Okay.
It's all about, like I
The
said,
individual
it's all
game.
about every game. Do you win the game? Do you draw the game? Do you lose it? Yeah. If we are drawn against Spurs, it would be a different situation. Yeah. A last minute winner, and we got undone. It happens.
So now the Everton game is going to be vital for you this weekend.
They're going to beat them.
Right.
They're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
beat
yeah.
them.
All the fan channels have been saying the same thing. The Everton game is going to be vital for us.
Well, you know, it's not given, like you say, like Robert was saying earlier on in the show. Look, you know, one thing's for sure: the Premier League. You know, Norwich can come to your home and give you a draw. You know, or
Burnley can give you problems.
Burnley, you know, or whatever. You know, Brentford. You know, whatever. That's how the Premier League is. If you haven't got your mind, your mentality right, that's what can happen. So anything can happen now, and it's true what Guardiola was saying. He said, look, it's a lot of games because they're in the Champions League. They're going to be in the FA Cup as well. One thing's for sure, they just moved the Champions League to
Paris.
and I don't know why, because there's going to be 2 English teams in there. So I don't know why they've done that. They should have
No, well,
moved
they're not going to. CJ, they can't put it at Wembley, can they? After that ridiculous.
Oh,
exhibition
yeah.
Euros. They
Well,
can't.
yeah, I understand that. Yeah, maybe that's probably why they didn't. You know,
Yeah.
really,
I forgot about
it.
that.
It's going to be two English teams. Really, I can't see. Bayern is the only team that's going to be in the way of City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and nobody wants to play Chelsea. I'm assuming we could get Liverpool in the next round. We could get City because you can play 2 English teams.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's going to be another 2 English teams in the final.
Yeah,
It looks like it's 2
shouldn't be at
English
Wembley,
teams,
though.
but
It shouldn't be at Wembley because that was disgraceful scenes in the.
No, it was disgraceful, and it's probably going to cost England, you know,
The
the
World
hope
Cup.
of having that kind of thing. So,
Just do it at our stadium. Do it at our stadium, mate. Yeah.
well, at least you'll be able to see proper football.
Hey, CJ.
And you'll be able to buy your groceries afterwards as well.
yeah, but come on,
Wow.
Ern, it's the Champions League final. I just don't.
Get it off. Get it off now, mate.
I just don't think it has
Get it
that
off
kind of-
now.
Listen. Where would you want to be? Like Paris, the lights,
With the Eiffel
Get it off now.
Or North London with the
at
Sainsbury's.
the end of the North
Like,
Circular
you get a
Road.
lovely
Come on,
meal
bro,
deal
come
from
on.
there. £3.
So, Kat, let's go back to Kat now because it's very interesting. We've heard from the likes. Although there's a question I do want to pick up, CJ Carlos, and it has to do with the history of Chelsea, and he knows where I'm going to go with this question. But Kat, you've seen the situation with Manchester City slipping in the lead. Have you seen Pep Guardiola in this Pep mode before? Does he sort this out? He looks a different animal.
No, he always has. If we drop points, yeah, like he says, he'll say that is normal. It doesn't work all the time. That is football. Yeah, but like I said, at the end of the season, we will see. In other words, I translate that as
We will be champions.
he's going to go into the dressing room and he's going to have what you would say a stern word with the players.
With Foden.
With all of them.
So, Kat, do you feel that Pep Guardiola is the Champions League's on his mind? Right.
He looks a different animal, man.
Well,
Trust
he
me.
needs to win that.
They lost.
doesn't he?
They get back losing to Chelsea, but before that they had a horrendous quarterfinals. Or it was against Lille. I think it was against Lille,
Yeah.
the champions of France. The
Yeah.
Fulham. So they're obsessed with the Champions League, right? And this
He doesn't look that
now it
concerned.
becomes a problem for him
Mm.
and the players mentally. So, for argument's sake, then it depends who they get next round. It should be okay, no problem. They're going to go through, and then it's about who they play. Are they going to avoid an English team in the quarterfinal? If they do, they get to the semis, and then it's going to be squeaky. You know what time?
Squeaky bum time.
Yeah. So I feel he's got to get over that hurdle, and then it'll be a massive relief for them. Because City know they can win the Premier League; they have done it. You know.
Mhm.
The problem in their way, Champions League is different because you're going to end up playing a top team, and nerves, this, that, and the other, and it may not be plain sailing. It's not like the Premier League. The Premier League, they've proven to be the best team.
That's why I said to you, like he has a different losing the game. I mean, when he says he's lost the game, you can see it rattles him in the Premier League more than you can ever believe. More than you can ever believe. But this time, he's just. I do think that the Champions League, as CJ says, I think that's the big one in his head, bro.
It's the
what
one
do you think?
Of course it is. But the thing is, we made it to the final last season. Yeah, that is further than we've ever been before, because the last time was the semi-final with Pellegrini. Yeah, now we've made it to the final, which means we've just got one more step to go. So take it for what it is.
I wouldn't put it past
I see
them.
Chelsea go through the same thing probably about 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, 2012 when JT missed the penalty. That was it. So we could have.
When he slipped.
Yeah, he slipped. Yeah.
And before that, I remember the Barcelona game when the referee had the Barcelona shirt under his shirt.
The thing is, for sure, all that money.
Oh, the ghost goal at Anfield.
That was terrible. I was actually there.
Hold on. I need to tell that story. I did say I'm going to drop some stories. So the first time I went to go and see Champions League football, it's the semi-finals of the Champions League, and CJ Carlos comes over to me with his cigar. My man. Do you want to come to the fight, the semi-final, my man? I said, what, me? He goes, yes, my man. I've got spare tickets, my man. I said, CJ, you got... Listen, see, when you look in CJ Carlos' office, he's got pictures with the greats, Ruud Gullit. I mean, this guy's... So he said, don't worry, man. He says, meet me at Stamford. Just meet me at Stamford Bridge, man. Come. So I said, all right. Go down to Stamford Bridge. First time I've gone in the stadium.
Still haven't given me the
Hang on. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Going into this stadium. I'm in there. Paul Oakenfold, big producers and the stars and all. CJ says, whatever, take, drink, food, whatever you like,
Yeah.
My man, you're with me, my man.
That's right.
So at the end of the night, CJ Carlos goes, get your money out. That's £250.
Oh my goodness! Wow,
he said, get your money out because that's just cost you £250, my man. Do you remember that? I've never paid £250 for tea, sandwiches, and watching Chelsea and Liverpool. And guess what? The game was 0-0. You're an expensive guy, CJ.
Wow.
You're telling fibs there.
That's true.
It's not true. No, I just asked you for more money on the rent of the dance all night you were having. I got you a freebie at the Champions League semi-final. Well, the boys, you got to remember Cameo nightclub in Margaret Street. I had and Samantha's. I had about 8 Christmas parties with the team. So I knew all of them. I socialized with a few of them, and they used to come in the club. Eddie Newton, Frank Sinclair. When they were younger.
Jody Morris, JT.
They all came to.
I think you invited him to one of the nights.
I invited. Yeah, I think. Yeah. And they used to have. I think at Cameo we had about 5. The last 5 before Mourinho arrived. Then Mourinho stopped all that nonsense. Then they carried it on again. But yeah, I had about 7 or 8 Christmas parties with them. So I knew all the guys well. I had tickets for, I don't know, some days I had tickets coming out my ears. I couldn't give them away.
But you could sell them though for £250.
Well, I was thinking, I will tell you.
You never paid me one.
No, it's funny. I used to get all my Arsenal friends in London when Arsenal would come to CJ, you got tickets, I said, yeah, what do you want? I used to get some tickets for some of my Arsenal buddies and that, and Spurs, and not Spurs, I don't think. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, I used to get a lot of tickets from the guys because they used to socialise in the clubs. They used to come in there. I used to look after them.
When you come to London, do you go to the games anymore? Do you still go?
I do. Yeah. I don't have the influences like I used to there because I haven't lived in London since 2008. But I still know quite a lot of people there. Don, he's a Man U fan, one of the head security guys.
Is he the black guy that's always...
Yes, he's in the entrance in the tunnel. He's got Man United. He wears Man United underneath his shirt. I swear, Ernie. next time you see him on Sky Sports or whatever, you see him there.
See him all the
just
time.
Look at him.
Zoom in,
He's
zoom
got
in.
it underneath. He's nice guy, Don. And I know a few of the guys, and I go to see the games as best I can.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and obviously we talk about football, but obviously there's a lot going on in the world at this point. We have a situation going on in Ukraine and Russia. Now, Abramovich, I mean, if you know CJ Carlos, you know this guy is like he's nailed on in the wall. He's on the wall as well. He kept the biggest Chelsea parties. So you were around when Ken Bates ran the club, and obviously you were there when Abramovich walks into London, buys Chelsea, turns this into this super club. Chelsea is a super club. You actually saw that turn.
Yeah.
There's a situation now where a lot of fingers are being pointed at Russian businessmen in London, and the most famous Russian businessman is Roman Abramovich.
Yeah.
How do you think that affects Chelsea? Because
I think it will affect Chelsea because, like it or not, everybody kind of knows if you are a billionaire coming out of Russia, you can't do your business without Mr. Putin knowing about it. That's my belief. Now, don't forget, last year he was in the High Court, Abramovich, and he won a case against someone who was writing a book about him and his connections with Putin, and they couldn't prove it, right? Well, like it or not, and he won for libel. He took the book, and that cost him a lot of money. I think the Daily Mail was also on the tick for that. Look, yes, he's an oligarch. He has steel magnate in Russia. Being the way Putin is, it's not a democratic country. So Putin's got his fingers in all the pies.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that Abramovich and Putin are not in business? Probably not. I think they are somewhere down the line. I just don't know how. Nobody does. Going on the other side of it, for Chelsea fans, it's just Chelsea's owner. Now, as a Russian owner, Arsenal, another billionaire.
Usmanov.
Nobody talks about him.
Well, he's not as famous as Roman.
No, because it's Chelsea. Because Chelsea are obviously, no disrespect to Crystal and Arsenal, they're in a different league to, what I mean by that, they're in recent times, because Arsenal really, up to 2004, were really a fantastic team. And 2004, it kind of stopped for them. And for Chelsea, when it started, when Abramovich came, although we did win trophies.
As he walked through the door season after, wasn't it?
Yeah, he learned a lot. But now Chelsea's self-sufficient. That's what a lot of people don't realise.
Does that affect Chelsea going forward?
I don't know about that, CJ. I don't know about that. If Abramovich
I don't know about that, CJ.
Takes his money out, mate. It's all over.
Listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully. Lukaku cost Chelsea 9 million. Because of the 9 million pounds for all the players they put out. They sold players.
Oh, right.
Chelsea are a business. You know, you talk about all the loan players they have everywhere. Abramovich has been investing in good young players as well as the ones coming through, and they go on loan, then they get bought or whatever. Prime example, the Southampton striker at the moment, Broja. I wish he'd stayed at Chelsea. He'd be great as a number 2 to Lukaku. He's at Southampton. Look what he's done already at Southampton. Now, they may sell him for 40, 50 million. It costs nothing. So Chelsea now say self-sufficient, have been for a few years. They won the Champions League, so they got another 30, 35 million. And FIFA World Cup, again, another 20 million there. And it just goes on. They keep winning trophies and they're making money. We're not getting 60,000 because we don't have the stadium. But yes, answer to your question, of course, you're going to get the haters attacking Chelsea and Abramovich. But they have to be careful because even Boris in the Houses of Commons kind of denied the fact that he was sanctioning. It's all paper talk, you know. People can say something in the newspaper because he knows he's got to be careful. He can get sued, or the government can get sued because Abramovich say, "Look, I'm a businessman. I'm not involved in the makings of war."
Yeah, but what I'm saying, what I would want to also ask you is, so that we understand clearly, Chelsea's run, it's self-sufficient. It's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
They make their money, they buy their players. So at this point, Chelsea can't be touched or liable in any way with the situation in Russia because the money is Chelsea's money.
Oh, you're talking about? Oh, yeah, not exactly. Because what they do, that's why the Rudiger situation, the contract of Rudiger, give him the money he wants. Well, you can't do that because if you give him 400,000, which he'd get to go to Real Madrid, you're going to have to give that money also to Lukaku. You're going to give it to
Rudiger will get how much?
Rudiger was offered 400,000 a week at Real Madrid. So you have to combine it. He's one of the best.
Wow.
One of the best. Rudiger's one of the best defenders in the Premier League, along with
in the world.
Along with Van Dijk and.
Hold on, what's everyone drinking?
Rudiger.
Rudiger.
Of course,
Come on,
in
brother.
the world.
Come on.
Yeah, there's not many more.
How many players? Name an Argentinian, name a Brazilian that comes close to him right now.
Christian Romero, mate. How about that?
Lewis Master.
Yeah?
Lewis Master.
All right.
Look,
No.
I think Yutsman told his coach with Arsenal. Abramovich's situation may have an impact, but the Chelsea model is now self-sufficient. That's what he set in place. That's exactly what I've just explained.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like that, of course, in the first part of the 5 years, 6 years. He was bankrolling the club until he sorted out. I mean, he was buying players. How much was he? 50, let's buy him. You know, you can't do that, right? And then they don't play, and then so now he's got it to a T. And if you think carefully, look what the players are coming through. A lot of young players from the youth academy. He's saving a lot of money. He's paying them very good wages. Mason Mount just had a new contract. Reece James, they're on 5-year contracts now on very, very good money. So if somebody wants to buy one of them players in the future, it's going to cost them 80, 100 million. So Chelsea are self-sufficient, as it doesn't look like it, but we are. And Abramovich does not bankroll the Chelsea make a lot of money every year because, you know, from sponsorships, from winning trophies, you know, you get money, you get, you know, dues.
So CJ,
That's the same thing with Manchester City. Manchester City are following the same blueprint as Chelsea. So we're not as far as where Chelsea is, but basically that's the same thing. We've been self-sufficient for years.
Top cat.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. I'm saying.
Get out of here with that.
But you know, Top Cat, you know,
Cat, get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
We're self-sufficient for years.
Get out of here, man.
One season, you spent.
You're not. How many on the right back players do you have at your club?
One at a time. Cat, what are you saying? What are you saying, Cat?
We've been self-sufficient for years, because we do the same thing what Chelsea do, we are our academy. We produce even before the takeover. We've always been producing.
What was your last big sell?
Our last big sell.
Yeah.
I'm talking about our Angelino. And he wasn't the last one.
He was peanuts. He went to Leipzig, right? He went there for peanuts.
Would he go there for 300 million?
No, he didn't go there for
Did you say Angela?
He went there for about 5 million.
Do you know how many youths we have got out on loan, and over the years, how many youths?
I
don't agree, mate. I don't agree, mate.
I don't believe that loan system is funding.
Whether you agree or not, that is actually the truth.
Look,
the same way how Chelsea do it is the same way how Manchester City do it, and it's the same thing. At first, we was bankrolled by the Sheikh, but we've become self-sufficient. Look how many Premier Leagues we've won. Look how many trophies we've won. Do you really think that even if we're just going by prize money, we're not even going by the youths who come through our academy and then go on? Your fourth choice goalkeeper who messed up in the Champions League final, for Liverpool. He comes from Manchester City.
Yeah, and he left for nothing.
I'm not
still in your box.
I'm not having any of what you've said, mate.
It doesn't matter whether you're having it or not. That is the truth.
Hey, Cat, you can pull the books out and show us some receipts. We'll believe you, man.
Harry Kane
no receipts.
If you want, you can see them online.
I will. I'll have a look.
I don't even know one player that Man City have sold they made money from, and I couldn't tell you one player on loan that's at Man City that's good. You're hemorrhaging money. You just spent £100 million on Grealish, and he's on the bench.
Hold on. Who's Sancho? Yeah,
what? Sancho. That was 10 years ago, wasn't it?
It was
Sancho's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Sancho's 21.
Yeah, he was
He
12
comes
years
from
old.
our academy, you know. Sancho and
Yeah, but how much money did you get for him?
Diaz. Yeah,
much money did you get for him?
those are the two stars: Sancho, Diaz, and Foden. They was in the youth side that played Chelsea's youth side that beat us once again in the FA Youth Cup. It used to be a regular thing every season. Chelsea's youth side.
You said you're self-sufficient.
Always made it to the final, and Chelsea
You said
always
you're self-sufficient. You said you're self-sufficient. How much did you get for Sancho?
How much did we get for Sancho?
Yeah.
We got 20% of the fee that Manchester United paid.
Oh my goodness.
Top Cat, this is the first
When
time.
United bought him, we got money.
All that money probably went on Pep.
Oh my God!
Oh man, you got Top Cat. You're run by a country, bro. You are run by the country in UAE or wherever it is. You ain't back road. You're just blessed to have the national kind of lottery thing. You got a country back in you. You're like Newcastle.
No, we're
got more money than the Premier League.
Self-sufficient. We're self-sufficient. We don't rely on Sainsbury's.
Right, mate. Listen, we do. But, hey, it's a revenue stream. Revenue string, mate. Yeah.
Think about this.
I'm telling you. Yeah, mate. Get it off.
Look, think about this. You would have had £250 million outlay if Harry Kane had arrived, because you bought the midfielder for 100 million. So you made a bid. You didn't.
Grealish.
They didn't say City did make the bid for 150. Levy just wasn't going to do it. So imagine that. That's 250 million pounds on two players. You're not self-sufficient. That would never have happened in a normal.
There's no way 100 million. You said Top Cat. You better text your UAE people and tell them that was the rivalry that offer.
You won the Champions League final. Who was in the final with you? Didn't we get paid for that?
Yeah, of course you get.
How much? How much though?
Yes.
How much did you get for getting to the semi-final? How much did you get for getting to the quarter-final? Yeah,
good money.
all
You get good
money come up. Yeah, then you're talking about sponsorships.
You've got to remember something. It wasn't just a few years ago that you splashed out 60 on a centre half, 50 on a right back. Great, by the way. Carl Walker.
50 on the other side.
Here's the wickedest thing. Yeah, CJ. You see, because you know Chelsea's kind of business, you will understand.
Again.
You will understand. You will see that other people will see what you're spending, but they don't understand where you're getting your money from with the players that you are selling. Yeah, that's why you could explain that. Well, the same thing with how you explained that. That is actually what Manchester City has been doing for season after season. Yeah. Most of the youths in our academy, they won't make it to the first team.
But we
will make money by selling them.
We sold Hazard to Real Madrid for 120 million. That year, what people forget, we sold Morata for 70 million back to Atletico. 70 million went there, and there was another. I can't remember the other player we sold. So in essence, we got 120 from Real Madrid, and we sold, and we were like quids in, if you like.
Yeah, but you sold him and you bought Kepa.
Yeah, yes, that's right. We bought Kepa, which was
80 million.
So,
I love your name, but I'm not having a single bar of what you said. There's no way on God's green that you guys are being self-sufficient. Man City. If I said that to my group chat, they will slap me across my.
Chelsea, City are behind.
Because they're ignorant and they don't understand football or business. If they did and they understood the sales of youth players and the amount of youth players.
Okay,
so can I ask you something?
How many? Who's the sponsor of Man City on the shirt?
Etihad.
Etihad, isn't it?
Yeah, Etihad is the main sponsor. Yeah.
Right. So, do you know how much they pay City?
Not off the top of the head, no.
Well, they cover themselves for the fair play, right? That's what they do. That belongs to it's a separate company that is sponsoring the city. It's them. It's same like Newcastle right now. Newcastle are going to have to do the same thing. They're going to have to have a sponsorship with another company, and that's how they're going to get away with this fair play, Robert. Fair play. Soon next year,
Newcastle have been doing that. In any case, Newcastle buy for how long?
Next year, you're going to see Newcastle buying 80 million pound stroke players next year.
Man City make no money on players.
Well,
They make no money.
let's close the Man City transfer dealings with the current transfer dealings. Now, Kat, hand on heart,
Mm.
what has that Grealish signing done for you as a fan?
It's given Sterling the fire to be in the form that he's in at the moment.
So for
Grealish.
100 million, so it's 100 million kick up the backside.
Yeah.
Top Cat, you dodged that question. You didn't answer that question.
Yeah, you dodged that.
He did. No, he did. He answered it. If you're honestly saying that Grealish, buying Grealish is the best business you've done for Raheem Sterling, I'll take that. If that's what you're saying.
Mhm.
So,
That's
hold
what,
on.
Wow.
that's what I believe in any case.
Wow.
Sterling
Yeah.
staying, Pat. Pat, is Sterling going to sign the contract?
I hope so.
Oh,
And if he doesn't, that 100 million kick up the backside for Sterling, what happens then?
He comes and takes Sterling's place.
yeah,
He's
but
not in the same
useless.
league.
He's not in the same league. That's why I was
Mate.
adamant that I
You know,
didn't want to be
Guardiola.
United.
For me, Guardiola, that was the one thing that he's done that I found, like, you know, you open your eyes and go, whoa.
Well,
Grealish
yeah,
is
what's
a
that
good
about?
player. Aston Villa is a big fish.
Very good player.
He was a big fish, Aston Villa.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it comes to City and you look, a whole pond here full of big fishes here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a very talented guy. I found him as a football
In the
player.
nightclubs. In the
He goes
nightclubs.
down. Well, yeah. Listen, between me and you, I had Frank Sinclair on a Friday night in a nightclub. The day before we were playing Arsenal, I had Righty, going back now, Paul Davis, Rocky Rocastle, God bless him. He was at the Oasis as well on a Friday night with the
I was
Arsenal,
there.
on a Arsenal home game.
I was there.
But here's the thing. He was, for me, it was too easy. He kept falling down. Oh, man. If you go near him, he keeps falling down. He's
over.
wasting his talent. Because Drogba used to do that when he came to Chelsea. He used to fall on the ground all the time, if you remember. And the boys pulled him in and said, listen, Didier, you've got to stop this. You're going to need to stay on your feet. Go in the gym, whatever. And then it was a new ball game, right?
Yeah.
Grealish just falls on the ground too much. He's a very skillful player, very inventive. But with the City setup, I don't know why that was for me, it looked like a panic buy.
I don't even think he laces I don't even think he talks to Mahrez. Forget Sterling.
Yeah.
He's not even in
Mahrez
Mahrez's
has to
league.
play. Sterling has to play, and then you put whoever you like there. But for me, Grealish will play. But think about this for a minute.
Third string.
England in the Euros. Where was Grealish?
On the bench and off the bench and back on the bench.
Right. Why is that? Because Southgate knows full well he's not going to get.
Ready.
He's not going to get 90-minute player. That's why Mount was ahead of him. Because Mount, like him or not, you say he's overrated. He will run for fun. At least he'll run for fun with the team. So he was in his position. Grealish, the crowd go, yeah, bring him on. Did nothing.
I wouldn't really say Mount was in his position. I would say that Sterling was in his position. That's the reason why he was on the bench.
No, when
Grealish is
Sterling-
midfield. He's a midfield player.
wasn't Sterling playing on the right for England, and that position was free on the left. That was where Grealish.
Sterling was playing predominantly on the left, and my boy from Arsenal was playing on the right.
Oh, Saka.
Because remember, there's three players behind Kane, and they tried to play Grealish right behind Kane, and then they tried to play him left of Kane, and it didn't work. It never worked.
He's not ready. I've said it from a long time when he's at Aston Villa. He ain't ready.
Sterling for England. For England, Harry Kane is the first name on the team sheet. The second name is Sterling. So, and if they're going to put Grealish in there, they're going to have to try and figure out a way to put him in there. Yeah, and you've got Mount playing. Yeah, you've got Foden in those positions there as well. So it's hard. It's really seen as to play on the left hand side.
I don't see Grealish getting ahead of Saka and Mount and Foden.
Yeah, I agree.
Not those three. They work. They might not be glamorous as him. They work.
It's all about the work ethic, Robert.
Foden, Saka, Mount are workers, bro.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So that means
That's the reason why he's not in it.
you got to sell Grealish back to Aston Villa.
No, we don't need to sell him because he fulfills a necessary task we need for the team and that.
They spent the money, Ernie.
Hey, listen,
Nah,
Cat,
he's pointless.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to lie about it. Yeah, he's there.
No, I hear you. No, you're sitting through and through.
Sterling was not in good form at the start of the season, and that's still, but he's found his form now. Yeah, Grealish had a chance to make that position his own. He's done okay, but it's only his first season. It's the same
Mahrez
thing with Mahrez in his first season, he was okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't pulling up no trees. Yeah, but once he settled in and got used to the team, yeah, that's when you really see him.
But I can't see him ahead of Mahrez.
With Sterling and Raheem.
Not this season.
I think
who knows how it's going to be next season, though.
With Jack Grealish, I think it's giving Sterling a little bit of a disservice in terms of his professionalism. Because I think with or without Grealish, he would have stood up to the challenge. He did it literally on the brink of the Euros and whilst he was going to the Euros, because he was arguably out of favour when he was at Manchester City heading into the Euros. So Sterling is one player that you can bank your last dollar on that he's going to respond. So I think with or without Grealish being there, Raheem would have come to life because he has it in him. He has it in his locker. Like, that's the type of player he is, just elite mindset.
That is true, but it's a case of when he's not in form. Yeah, sometimes you need the next player that can give you competition. Where I have to move this player out of the way. Yeah, so that's the reason why I see Grealish is there. Grealish is there to do what Sterling does, yeah, and to pressure Sterling.
Look, Grealish, Sterling, and Harry Kane. What are they all got in common?
Play for England.
Sterling, and Harry Kane.
Yeah,
Grealish, Sterling, and Harry Kane. What they got in common?
They've got nothing in common. Nothing in common.
I'll tell you what they do.
Nothing.
They do like a dive, all three of them.
Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm just stating what I see.
That's listen. Grealish wears that jacket, bro.
Okay, he's number one.
Grealish's jacket.
Sterling
Harry Kane loves a little. Oh, I'm going down here, right?
Yeah. I think.
Right? Hold on.
Yeah.
Sterling in the Euros did it as well. We all know this. Please be honest.
Yeah, but if Sterling tries to stay in his, especially when he plays for Manchester City, we don't really get the rubber green or the influence of the referees.
At least Sterling and Kane does it in the box. Grealish does it coming. Grealish comes off the bench. Comes off the bench and he falls over.
Yeah,
you're right. That's a good shout.
He does it in nightclubs. He off the bench. He does it everywhere.
In Range
Sterling, I think you lot are bang out of order to put Sterling and Grealish with the main man Kane.
Yeah.
No.
Listen,
without Kane, Sterling and Grealish are Lauren.
Harry Kane loves a dive.
Come on. Are you serious?
Show me the way to go home. I'm a son. I wanna go to man.
Is over there.
Listen, guys, we've kind of run out of time. We've gone over by 7 minutes.
We didn't even talk about Arsenal.
Listen, we can do that next week. It's been an amazing talk. I want to say thank you again to CJ Carlos. Thank you for the building, the lights. Thank you. Just thank you. Thank you for the investment. Thank you for everything. CJ Carlos, one of the most important people in terms of clubbing back over the years. One of the generals, one of the pillars. Top Cat, thanks for joining. I know you was busy earlier on Top Cat doing interviews, but we have to talk again soon, man.
Yeah, man.
We need you back on soon. And obviously, Ern back in the building supporting.
Yo!
Can I just say
the views seem to be slipping down since you've been on Ern. What's going on?
Listen, mate. I've had it with you.
Can I just say it's a pleasure to see someone so pretty as Crystal here on the because you lot just pure ugly man.
Let me see if this works. Can the guys out there that's watching the show, can you all say good night to Crystal? Let me see if we get any. Can you all say good night?
They're probably just
say hello to her.
It's good fun, guys. See you all soon.
Yes. Respect Daddy Ernie, respect Crystal, respect the team. We'll be back. What channel are you on Saturday morning, Daddy Ernie?
Saturday mornings, we're on channel 182.
182. And somebody was watching you in Ireland, Ernie, and they think you talk absolute pants. But you're international.
That's why
They're watching you in Ireland on Channel 7. Listen, guys, we'll be back next week. Thanks for joining us. The Fixture List.
Take care, man.